Hey there, and sorry I haven't been on at all today, but I'm catching up with a lot of my schoolwork that I missed while I was away, so mostly today was taken up with finishing papers, doing presentations, getting some studying done, and I got another paper due tomorrow, so, due on Friday, so tomorrow I'll probably have more of that. Hopefully that paper will get done a lot faster than this one did. Anyway, I decided to do something a little different today. Rather than show off more of my my DVD collection, and since I have nothing come yet, I actually have a birthday present coming from Sammy, which I'm very excited about. I decided I wanted to get into some of my comic stuff, because I am a huge comic geek, and I haven't showed off my my comic stuff in a while, so I'm going to make a couple of these videos. My first one is my DC Showcase collection. I'm a huge fan of DC Showcase, and it's like a black and white collector's thing. If you haven't seen them, they're really cool. It's a great and inexpensive way to get like collections of comics that you really enjoy, and just going to show you some of the ones that I really enjoy, and I'll tell you why and which ones were better than others. So I'm going to start off with Wonder Woman. Now, although this is Volume 1, it actually isn't the start of the Wonder Woman series. This actually starts with Wonder Woman 98, and I'm not sure why. I can't remember. There was a reason for this, actually. And it's actually a pretty good one. It's got some great art here, and it's not as subversive as the early Wonder Woman stuff. But I really enjoyed the way that it was done. It was it's very cheesy by today's standards. Not a lot of like really big villains in it. A lot of like forces of nature, stuff like that. Kind of like bad guys, accidents happen in outer space, that type of thing. But overall it's fairly enjoyable. It would not be my first pickup if you're going to get a Wonder Woman one. I would not. Probably this isn't the best one to go with. Next up is Green Arrow. And if you're a fan of Arrow, this is a very different character than the one that you're probably used to. And for the majority of this book, it's the original Green Arrow. And the original Green Arrow basically was Batman with a bow and arrow. Pretty much, seriously, that's Batman from that era with a bow and arrow. He even had his sidekick Speedy, which was pretty much Robin with a red suit, like Robin and a bow and arrow. But the series got really, really good once it got taken over and changed. Would give Green Arrow a new look. As you can see, he's a very fresh-faced, clean Green Arrow. Oh my God! It's one of those nights. See, I've been studying all night. And when they brought him back with Brave and the Bold, they did a really amazing job with the character. And they completely changed him. The last Green Arrow you see is kind of a whole fresh-faced guy taking on like an evil Indian or something like that. Indian Native American. But when you see Green Arrow again, he's gone from fresh-faced to looking like the classic Green Arrow that we're all used to knowing. But I gotta say, overall, this is actually a really fun book. Very cheesy. Yeah, it's not definitely not a dark book. It got like Curse of the Wizard's Arrow. Getting stuck into a pinball machine. Just really cool stuff. Next up was the Elongated Man, and I'm a fan of mysteries and stuff like that. So Ralph and Sue Dibney and the horrible stuff that would happen to them later on, but this is a very fun book. I really like this. There's 51 short stories on this. Of course, The Elongated Man often was the backup story in other comics, and this one basically most of his backup stories in Detective Comics. So just some really cool stuff. If you kind of like the mystery ones, they always had kind of a neat little mystery with The Elongated Man. He was the detective. It was something different. I really enjoyed this one. Next up is Dial H for a Hero. And this is not the Dial H Hero that I grew up with. They had a newer series that came into, I think it's Adventure Comics. But this one here is actually from the original House of Mystery Dial H for a Hero. And I gotta say, I was really, really impressed. I finished the book. It's actually fairly small compared to the other ones, but it is inexpensive. This one's only about $9.99 in the US and $12.99 in Canada. But in comic shops, they usually just give their US price. Basically, it's a character that he finds this dial, and every time he dials it, he turns into a different hero. Kids back then could basically send in their ideas for heroes, and it was really cool. The new version of it wasn't so good in the new 52, but I really do like this version, Dial H for Hero. I strongly recommend that as kind of a fun read. And now we're getting to some stuff that doesn't make me look so wimpy. I am a huge fan, well, first off, let's get into this stuff, of Batman and Superman. And World's Finest was kind of like supposedly the best of both of them. There's some really cool stuff. This is volume 2. And there's a good Mxyzptlk and a Batmite a team up in here. And I think there's I'm not sure if this is the one that has the Superman with the Lex Luthor Joker team up or not, but I do have them in one issue. But it's a very trippy type of a book to read. It's very much it's just a team thing and really cool. It's not like the Batman Superman comic that's out there now, but I find it very fun. Next up is the newest one in my collection. Well, not the newest in my collection, but the newest as in the newest chronologically. And that is Booster Gold Volume 1. But actually, this pretty much, I think, it does. That's the entire run of Booster Gold. So, I was a huge fan of this. This was a really cool comic book. And something extremely different. The art was fantastic. I love the character Booster Gold. I was never bored with this one here. I think I read this one in one sitting. And, I read an entire comic series, plus the Superman crossover, in one sitting. Dan Jurgens is a great creator, and he was a writer and creator of Booster Gold, and I think he drew him too. So exactly looks kind of like not the best picture of Booster Gold, but I like the comic. Next up is the first showcase that I ever bought, because it had stuff that I really wanted, cheesy stuff, and it was Superman family. I was a big fan of this. This is basically it's got the first solo featuring a member of the Superman family from 1944. But this has just really cool stuff. It's mostly Jimmy Olsen, like Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen goes up to number 13. Goes up to number 21 on the Superman's pal. Then it goes into a bunch of 22. Then you get to like a bunch of you get like a Superman number 28, which is an early Lois Lane story. These are all very cheesy, very cool, but great art, fantastic stuff. You got some great writers in. Otto Binder is doing some work in this, and Otto Binder is a fantastic writer. Does a lot of really trippy, cool, different stuff. Really enjoyed it. God, this one was only going to come up to 2. Actually, that was the second one I got. This was the first one I got. And this one actually came out. I bought this one on the day that it came out. Superman. And most of these are like $22, like normally, but I would get them at a good price. But this one here was actually, again, if you buy these at comic shops, they're the American price, no matter if you're in Canada or America. Was $9.99, and for the big one. All other ones afterwards, go to regular price. But the first two, I had a Green Lantern one too. I don't have it anymore. I don't think. Do I have it? No. But I had a Green Lantern and Superman. I bought both of them the same day for less than $20 because the comic shop that I was at was in Ottawa. This one is actually from Ottawa, and it was basically $9.99, no taxes. So I got like over 1,000 pages of comics for like $20. Great stuff in here. Again, Bill Finger does work on this one here. The fantastic work of Kurt Swan and Wayne Boring are in here. Two fantastic Superman artists that I really enjoyed. Gotta stop this from falling over. The next two I'm going to do really fast were Justice League Volume 3. As you can see, it's got the classic crossover, Super Crisis that struck Earth 2. And basically it's the first time somebody turns down Justice League in this one here. And trivia, it's Metamorpho. I think next guy to turn in Ben would probably be Green Arrow. And here we have a really cool one, and I don't think I've read this one yet. Nope, 61 to 83 I haven't. Gardner Fox, of course, classic stuff in here. Some fantastic artwork, some Denny O'Neil stuff. Just some incredible stuff that I really have to get the time to check into, but I really haven't yet. Just between school and just like my YouTube and everything, I just do not get a chance to read as much as I want to, especially comics, which I really enjoy. Next up is another 2-pack, and I got one of them recently at the convention, and it's the Haunted Tank. I was a huge fan of G.I. Comic growing up, and the art and just the stories were so, they're all falling over, guys, were so brutal and just so unique. It had such different stuff there, and it didn't shy away. That's what I really liked about it. And when you really think about it, like now, and I'm guessing that there's a recent, a more modern G.I. Combat done, which I have not read yet, like on a tank. I'm kind of wondering if they went for the dude's crazy aspect, because think about it for a second. Here's a guy that whose basic, the thing that he does, he is in the tank in North Africa, and he talks to his dead relative that is a gigantic ghost that nobody else sees but him. Just saying, he could be a bit crazy. Next up was Sergeant Rock, and I guess a lot of you guys grew up with this, same as me. This is volume 3. It was the only volume that I could find, and I'm a huge Sergeant Rock fan. Bob Kanigher, of course, is the legendary writer of this one here. Great Joe Kubert and Russ Heath art. I mean, just incredible stuff. You know, Rock being blind, and I can read this at any time, and I'm just like 100%, 10% into it. It's just such great stuff. Next up was Black Hawk, again another war comic that I really enjoyed. Of course, classic Dick Dillon work in this one here. Notice that this one kind of scratched because I left this one on the floor and the cats got at it. But luckily they didn't get through it. So, just again, it's just some great art, some great stuff in here as well. I'm running out of time here, guys. Next up was Jonah Hex. Probably my favorite cool guy comic of all time. Too bad the movie sucked ass. Again, just fantastic art, fantastic story. I wish they could make a Jonah Hex that really suits the comics. That was fantastic. Next up was Secrets of Sinister House, and this one started out as almost kind of a romantic-y type comic, but it worked into like a very horror comic, because I think originally it's called, it has actually a different title. Is it always Sinister House? Secret House of Secret Love. Sinister House of Secret Love. Seriously. Great art, but some of these were they're interesting, but kind of a chore to get through after a while, because a lot of these romance stories can actually pretty much be the same thing. But when this turns into a full-fledged horror book, it is fantastic. Next up, of course, is the House of Secrets. As yes, you see, that is the original appearance of the Swamp Thing. Bernie Wrightson, Alex Toth, Wally Wood, Neil Adams, Jim Aparo, Sergio Arjones, just Marv Wolfman, Len Wein, incredible people. And the last two were two of my favorites, and I wanted to leave them for last for a reason, because I love them, and unfortunately, time is not going to let me talk about them very much. But House of Mystery, incredible stuff. If you only pick up one, you're a horror fan, get out there and pick up House of Mystery. Just, it has some beautiful stuff, some fantastic, and I mean, like, each of these run about 550 pages each, and you will enjoy this. It is some great stuff, and if I got enough time and I can get through it, later on I'll be doing my Marvel Essentials collection. So thanks for watching, guys, and for me right now, it's time to put all these back, and it's time for tea.